Good morning. There you go. All right. Welcome to our Potato Tower live stream. I'm going to give a few minutes for folks to show up. Sorry for the icon being at the top of my hat. It turns out that I accidentally deleted the original live stream, so I have to go in and switch the thumbnail again. But we can get everything going. And I actually have my phone set up so I can see chat. I'm trying to do this as professional as possible, I think. I think that's the idea. All right, let's see if it's actually running. Let's see if it'll... Hey, Sage and Stone, yay! Hello. So I think I'm getting on my side, but I don't think I'm gonna get actual video. I'm just trying to make sure everything's running. Let's see. Okay. All right. Well, it is a beautiful day here in Oregon. We are actually going to have a nice day today, it looks like. We had some rain last week, and I think most of us in the Pacific Northwest figured we were in for it for the rest of the season, because once it starts raining here, it usually doesn't stop, at least for, I don't know, a good 6 months. So yeah, we definitely, I definitely was worried that it wasn't going to stop. And Herman's told me stories of when it started raining in August and never let up until June. And yeah, I don't think I was quite ready for that much rain if that's what was going to happen. Turns out summer reemerged, and yeah, I think we're back to having some nice weather. But the grasses loved the extra rain that we got last week. We had about 3 days of good, solid rain, like just not it wasn't washing soil out, but just good. You know, the ground was able to soak everything up, and all the grasses kind of sprouted and took off and seemed to be doing really good. So that's a positive thing. At least we start getting some graze, some forage for the animals, especially the cows and the goats. It's really good. All right, well, let's see what's in the potato towers, because that's actually what we're here for. And it started warming up. Earlier it was quite cool out. So the potato towers that we have are made out of these cattle panels, and the cattle panels are just half a 16 foot, and I cut them right down the middle, and then I bent the cattle panel. I bent the long portion of the cattle panel in, so that way everything would hold together, and then hopefully it would hold together. It would hold the potatoes in place. So, oh, let me see. Hey, Christine. All right, let's see what we got, because I have not opened these up, and I don't know what's in here. And actually, the interesting part about what's here is, do you guys have audio, by the way? Just checking. I hope so. The interesting part about what's in here is it's all the bedding from our goats. So I didn't do anything to the compost or the bedding. I just put it right in here. So it was about 2 years worth of bedding. Okay, perfect. Thank you. It was about 2 years worth of bedding, and the bedding wasn't really composted. It was left underneath one of our goat hotels, and so I was worried that we would either get no growth or it would just be weird growth. So just a little lag. Okay. Sorry. Cell phone up here on the side of a hill. So, yeah, so I was worried that we either wouldn't get any growth because either the compost and everything would be too high in nutrients or something like that. But that ended up not being the issue. Actually, we ended up having a really interesting thing happen where I actually had potatoes growing outside of the soil. A couple times I actually had them start to grow outside. I thought that was really interesting. And I also think it was one of the reasons why these plants went way longer than the plants that I had in the dirt. And the reason they went longer, I believe, is because there were so many more nutrients. And so the plants just kept growing and growing, and which is exciting, but I'm hoping that shows inside. The other thing that I'm interested in is how easy it is to harvest, because harvesting in our hard clay soil was a job. It was actually it was a good amount of work to kind of pop all the potatoes loose. And so I'm interested to see how easy this is going to be. I have a feeling this is going to be way easier than I thought it was going to be, but I have some helpers just in case. And then we'll also kind of compare how many potatoes we got, because last time when I did the potatoes it was 100 feet, it was 2 rows of 100 foot, and it filled up 3.5 of these. So we'll see what we get out of one of these. I'm hoping for like a half, maybe a half a tin, like 5 gallons or something like that, but we'll see. All right, let's see. Got one more. I think that's it. Yep, that's it. Oh, there we go. All right. Wow, that held together. That's holding together way better than I thought it was. I thought it would just all spill out. So, boys, you want to come around here, over here, and start helping me pull this apart? We can see what we got in here.
Yeah.
Ooh, hold on. Got some small ones.
Should be strong.
Yeah, you can start pulling it apart. Got some bugs. Ooh,
Oh, I found some.
you found some?
Oh, yeah. Oh, my boy.
So it's a good mix. It's a good mix of them. Yeah. No, that's okay. Yeah. No, they're good. They're healthy.
Wait. What's a bunch of bugs? I found a
Yeah,
bunch
there's some
of bugs.
small ones. There's always going to be a few small ones.
This one did not grow.
Yeah. This is way easier. This is so much easier than doing it the other way. All right, you guys dig on those. I'll get the camera. See what we can get. Oh, wow.
Oh, I found a few.
Yeah, there'll be more in there. There's some right there on the side too. So yeah,
Yeah.
we're definitely getting some odder shapes. That's for sure. I'm seeing a lot more odd shapes than I did in the, and not that it matters. It's just slightly odder shapes. I had some with some scab on it, which is interesting, and I actually think I know what this is from. Also, this has some, I think this is from it being really warm in there. We're getting some decomposing, I believe, or like the composting is still happening inside the tower. So maybe it's a little too hot. The compost is. Maybe it's still a little too hot. I don't know. We'll see what the rest of them look like. But definitely a little bit of scab on this one. Oh, look at that.
Yeah, I saw this one. Ooh.
Yeah, some big old huge worms. Yeah, put it in the bucket, buddy. You stand on the side.
This is the one that you put in with the...
Stay on the side.
Oh, my gosh. I just found a few.
There you go. Oh, wow. Oh, look at that. Yeah, get them. Put them in.
I'm getting some potatoes, all right?
Yeah, you're getting a bunch of them, buddy.
Over here's a lot.
So this was one of the things that I was worried about. I was worried that we were going to end up with a lot more composting still happening, but I wasn't sure how much we'd get. And it's still, what I'm seeing is we're still getting a lot of composting happening. And there's some worms and stuff in here. So this probably got a little too hot over the course of the summer because there was air and water and everything that is needed for composting to happen. But we're still getting, yeah. And there's probably gonna be some down here, guys, closer to the ground too. Here you go, right here. Look, right here.
Oh, a bunch.
Yeah, get those. So, hey Clay, you're standing where they're at. So we're getting a good amount. We're getting a good amount. This is way easier and probably way more enjoyable for them than when I did the other ones. And I actually didn't have them dig up the other potatoes. It was just too hard. It was too labor intensive. Yeah, there's definitely getting some. So it was definitely too labor intensive for the other ones, but this they could totally do, which is fun for kids, especially since they got to see them grow. I do think I would go a little bit heavier on soil, maybe a little bit more mixing, maybe a little bit more compost or something that's already kind of baked off, so that way it doesn't heat up as much, because that's what I'm seeing. I'm definitely seeing some areas where it heated up, and I think we could probably get more out of it if it wasn't so hot. You're standing right where they're at. There you go. Yep, there you go. Smooth. There you go. All right. Any more?
I'm starting chunky stuff, not anymore.
Nope, more.
Yeah, no more.
Oh, there's one. Nope, that's about it. So, probably about probably about 5 gallons, maybe 4 gallons or so. Most of maybe half a 5-gallon bucket, something like that. So not quite as many as I thought, but they weren't a lot of work to put in. So I can't really complain for the amount that we got. Also, this plant is still going, which is, these plants are still going, which is really kind of crazy, because that one died back. So I'm gonna have to do some research, but I think this is because there's so many more nutrients that the plant still goes, but they're not putting out as many potatoes. That's my guess. But I could be wrong about that. It's a great experiment. I've heard about other people doing a similar no-till, like a no-till method with potatoes, and the way that they do it is they put down like cardboard or a plastic, and then they put down compost. Then they put down some potatoes, and they put down more compost, and then like a wood chip or something like that, just to kind of start to smother out the. Let me see, first year. That's the technique. First year. Okay. Okay, so that's the method that you used, where you put down like did a no-till method. Yeah. So this is kind of similar to that, where you could do like a no-till. This is similar to like a no-till. It is no-till, where you could just put down the compost and everything. Yeah. Yeah, it'll get better with time. Yeah. So what I may do is actually take this material and pile it up and use it again next year for the same type of thing, because it's still going to have plenty of nutrients with it or in it. And if I do like a no-till method with potatoes next year, I could use the same stuff because it's still got plenty of goodies in it. Or I could reintroduce it into my compost piles. So it's not like it's going to be the end of it if this is, this isn't the end of this material, which is great too. But it's also, I was kind of just looking for a way of using my goat bedding immediately versus just putting it into a compost and having it go through the whole composting pile process, because the goat manure is more like pelletized fertilizer. It's a lot less like horse poo or horse manure or cow manure, where it just, it really needs some time to bake, because it can be one thing. Horse manure has tons of seeds in it, and cow manure is really hot. So the goat manure, I like that pelletized aspect of it. So yeah, I'm happy with that, considering we didn't get quite the yield I think I put about 25 potatoes in there. So we doubled our potatoes, which isn't the greatest yield. If now that I'm thinking about it, I think we put about 25 in. Oh, it was 25 between two of them. So, okay, so it was about 12 potatoes in this one. So yeah, I mean, it's not the greatest yield, but it is a good yield and it was easy. See, that's the other thing is like how easy is it to do? And this was really easy to do. So it wasn't this is definitely a method that I think like my mom would be able to do. Sorry, Mom. Not that you can't do it the other way, but this is like a method that it would be really easy for her to build up, manage for the whole entire season, and then open up and tear apart pretty easily and get the potatoes out without having to dig them up or go through the process of having to do any weeding. We did no weeding. There was no weeds in here. And we ended up with, a decent amount of potatoes. I think we would have gotten more potatoes if it was better balanced. Yeah, so. But any questions? What happened to my helpers? They're still here.
Hi.
The boys got their chores done extra early to come up and help out. Thank you, boys. Yeah. But yeah, so I think I'll do it again next year. But next year I think we'll go a little bit more of a mixture between the two. No, they didn't dry out. That was actually one of the crazy parts. Is all summer long we just watered them about once a week. So they didn't dry out. It was actually really crazy. I kept worrying about them like getting super dry, and so I kept like sticking my hands in and trying to figure out if it was dry in there, and they weren't drying out. And so I did probably about halfway through July. We started watering them, and what I did is I actually took this pitchfork, and I just put it right down the middle. Like, well, you see. All right, the hole's closed up, but I put right down the middle. I shoved it all the way down the middle. And then when we had a hose going, I would just put the hose in here and just let it, for about 5 minutes or so, just let it run. Not on full blast, but with like a little diffuser on it. And it would just soak the whole entire thing. And that kept it going. We'd do that maybe every, I don't know, maybe twice a week we'd do that. And that was it. That was it. And here's the funny thing. We haven't watered these in like...
A few months?
Probably in 3 weeks. We haven't watered these in 3 weeks. And they're still like... And we've had some really hot weather and we haven't been watering them because a lot of it started dying back other than a few plants. So we just stopped watering them. And we still have plants that are fully alive. I mean, none of this isn't dying off. And these down here are not dying off either. The ones right down here. So that aspect of it was also really nice because we had a pretty dry summer. We don't get any rain once the rain stops for the most part. And what I mean by it stops, usually around June, we get our last rain and then it just dries up and we get nothing until, well, now. And so the fact that we didn't get any rain and they didn't dry out was also really encouraging. Yeah, that was definitely something that was a positive. And I think it was the mixture of having the hay and the straw in there as well as the compost, and it just held water really well. It's still... Okay, so we haven't watered these in like 3 weeks. And we got some rain, but I mean, that's all really good. And there's a bunch of like mycorrhizin. I think it's mycorrhizin. There are a bunch of those growing, and the whole pile's like that. It's not just like the top. I mean, if I reach down as deep as I can go, I'm pulling out like nice brown compost. So super healthy. Happy about that. So. Yeah, I mean, I think overall it's a good learning experience. I think, once again, like I said, I would definitely have mixed in a little bit more soil, knowing how rich this is now and knowing how much the plants really grew, and maybe try to get the plants to put a little bit more into the potatoes. But that may also be a balance. I'm going to have to look into the balance of like what exactly the potatoes need to grow the potato plants need to grow the potatoes versus what the goat manure has in it. Because if the goat manure is really high in something that is just going to produce leaves like nitrogen, and they need something else, then that's probably something I should adjust as well. But a lot of this stuff I just try to see what happens, and that's what this was. Let's see what happens. But all right, well, hey, I think we're gonna call it for the live stream. I want to thank everybody for stopping by, and I will actually put a bigger video together that is going to cover all of this, opening this tower up, as well as looking at how I did it. So it'll be a one big how-to kind of video, and I'll put that out next week probably, and it'll be higher resolution and nice and tight and concise. So, but thank you guys for stopping by. Appreciate it, and thank you, Heather, for your questions and your comments. Always so helpful. All right, have a good one, everybody. Ciao.